Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am Richard Neal. This is Richard Neal's channel. And as you can see, I have an extremely affectionate blob of fluffy black fur here. Jack, would you please look at the camera? Look at the camera. See? Camera? Yes, yes. An interesting thing happened the other day is that one of my neighbors called and informed my brother that somebody was absconding with my Jack here. So my brother went charging outside and saw three young boys carrying this cat. And he told me that he threatened to call the police and they dropped the cat and ran. The first question being is, these are neighborhood boys. I believe I have seen them before. And I'd like to know what they wanted to do with this cat. I'm not necessarily saying that they intended to harm him, because when I was a kid I would never have done something like that. They may not be me. Maybe they were intending to stick fireworks up his ass. They could be that kind of kids, or maybe they just thought he was somebody's cat and was nobody's cat and wanted to play with him. Who knows? That is kind of point one. And my brother is well known in the neighborhood for being a little off, so I wouldn't fault anyone for dropping what they were doing and running like hell if he were bounding after them with an angry look in his eyes. So again, I am not ready to assume these people intended my animal harm, although I'm not ruling it out. This particular cat is so old and so senile that he thinks everyone is his friend, and he is not permitted out. I have too many damn cats. I'm fostering cats for a homeless couple, so it is literally impossible for us to keep them in. I would have to have airlocks installed on my house. And even then it would take me 20, 30 minutes to get out of the house, because as soon as you get one cat back in, two others have gotten out. They wait at the doors for you. They actually hide and run at the doors. It's ridiculous how hard it is to keep these animals in. So people say, well, you should keep your animal in, it's safer. It's like, no, for one thing, my cats are mousers. They're keeping the rodent population down. I live not far from a dump, and we have had a big rat problem. So that's point number one. And point number two is, yeah, it's physically impossible at this point. I'd have to get rid of my brother, and I'd have to get rid of most of my animals. So, but this is the one cat who is he's old, he loves everybody. He is not allowed outside of the house. Now, the interesting thing is that the person who called, her children think that I don't deserve to have cats and have been harassing me about it as long as I've owned them. Once expected me to pay for a scratch on a vintage car because they said a cat did it. Which, a cat's claws are not sharp enough to scratch a vintage car's paint. It just doesn't work that way. Your paint would have to be in such bad shape it's not worth fixing. So you'd have to have it redone anyway. That's kind of point number one. And point number two, I actually have a man on my street who has been confirmed to be murdering my animals, and of course, animal control simply tells you, well, what a good job you're doing. That's less cats for us to deal with. Animal control in my area, there is a large group of officers who really hate cats. So, this lady lied to animal control. I have a police report, and this woman lied to animal control, told them I was mentally incompetent, um, in accusing my neighbor of killing my animal. Right? So, this is one thing. And another point is, when I was 10 years old, my mother passed away. I was living with my 14-year-old brother and my 12-year-old sister. And my father, who was living with his wife in, about 25 miles away, said, you guys are just little dudes and you'll be fine. And this woman who lived on my street at the time did not think there was a problem with my father leaving a 10-year-old in the care of a 14-year-old violent schizophrenic. So I kind of doubt at this point she would have actually been concerned about a cat, given the fact that she has a history of not being concerned about actual human children. Now, look, a lot of us, we feel our cats are our children and would protect them in the same manner. There are many men who would die for their animals, and that is admirable. I'm not saying I wouldn't do that myself. I am just saying this is a person who doesn't think it's worthwhile to call the police when a child is being taken care of by a mentally ill 14-year-old. So, I am wondering if she just called because she was just trying to score some brownie points. Or if maybe she even put these kids up to it, because she probably knows who they are. I mean, she lives on the same street as them. And, I've had my animals repeatedly. I've had animals disappear for like a couple of weeks. And then just show up again like nothing. So I think these kids might have had something to do with it. But, the final question that comes up is, why didn't she go out there and confront these kids herself? I think she knows who they are. She knows where they live. And if she said, hey, look, I know that's not your cat, put it down, they probably just would have done so. Unsupervised children getting caught is unsupervised children getting caught. Now, unless that family eats cats, which they're Latino so far as I know, so no. But, hey, I'm not going to put it past them. People are hungry enough, they'll eat anything. There's no meat on this guy anymore. He used to be a real fat cat, but there's nothing left of him. He's about 17 years old. Oh, that's a lot of purring there, Jackie. You need to come. Ow, okay. Okay. Anyway, so there being the other question, why don't you just confront these kids yourself? Say, hey, put that cat down. Now, on the one hand, I guess I should be thankful that this woman told us it all. On the other hand, I question her motives, and I am not ready to forgive her for ignoring child abuse. But I will leave this up to my viewers here. Now, I'm not saying that I'm living with a driving, forever hatred of this particular person. I mean, they're way down on the list of people I would screw over if I had the money to do so, and I don't think I'll ever have the money to do so. So, on the one hand, I'm not going to dwell on it. On the other hand, I don't think I should have to live next to someone who ignored the child abuse I suffered. But I leave it up to you guys. What do you think? Do you think that she was really protecting my animal, or do you think that she was taking unnecessary risks in order to gain some brownie points? I mean, we'll never know, but you tell me. What do you think? I'm Richard.